Lindsay and Tim Stockhecky, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Do so will.
Yes.
You guys have been busy.
We have been busy.
I've loved following along on Instagram and seeing you guys on billboards. I'm sure all our listeners have seen. So appreciate you guys coming in. I know.
Thank you.
Famous and busy, and we're honored that you're here.
It's good to be here.
There's a lot to do in Southern Illinois right now. And
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, and we're excited to be able to share it with more people.
And the big thing coming up is the eclipse.
Yes.
Which is coming on April 8th. Mm-hmm. And you guys have been doing a lot of promotions on what's happening local. And that's why I wanted you guys to come on, because you guys know what's happening. So we want all the info, all the goods for this huge celestial event that's not going to happen in our lifetime again.
Yes.
Yeah. They say once in 400-year event. So
to happen once, but to happen twice is even
it's
crazier.
Kind of beyond. So
The crossroads of totality.
Yeah.
Right through McAnda.
That's right.
Cedar Lake.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So the actual X will be Cedar Lake.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So SIU is really hosting NASA coming in and being right there in the heart of all of it. So
Wow. NASA.
Yeah. I think it's a really exciting thing for Southern Illinois. We were talking about on the way over here, thinking about another event that would have brought this type of crowd, which of course we don't know what to expect, but we really couldn't identify anything that would bring this much attention to Southern Illinois, that we could kind of identify. I mean, it's kind of, a big deal.
Well, it's not like a normal type of an event because you just can't say, oh, let's get the people together, let's organize it. No, this is not on our timeline.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not something that's like organized locally or anywhere. It's just happening. And then we're all able to be witness to it and kind of decide how we want to celebrate and come together and like witness it as a community. Like that's really neat to be a part of like such a historical event.
It really is.
And with this being the crossroads, not just the only, just on the totality, but people want to come be a part of that.
Oh, yeah.
And see, what might that be?
Right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the last eclipse we had here in 2017?
Yes.
Do you remember where you were?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story?
We sat at home in our backyard and had a perfectly clear day that day.
Nice.
And so, unfortunately, we had heard other places there were some clouds, but we had a great experience. And it was, 2 minutes that time? And so this time it's going to more than double that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
We didn't, well, I mean, I think like most people, we didn't know what to expect or what that would look like. And so now kind of preparing for it and reflecting back on what the experience was last time is just so different because now we know how powerful that moment is and what it feels like and what that experience can be. And it's just something you can't describe, I mean, where were you, like, what were you doing? Like, is that kind of how you what your experience was? Like, you just can't even put it into words.
It was,
so.
yeah. I was at my aunt's house. She lives south of town, kind of near the Ferncliff and Grassy Lake area. Mm-hmm. We had a good day that day, too. It was hot, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I was taking pictures and it was just like unlike anything I could describe. Yeah. I mean, felt world-changing to me and just being mesmerized by it all.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to the people that were not here is such a challenge. It is such a challenge, because it is a spiritual experience when you're there.
It's just kind of like otherworldly.
Absolutely.
And once the shadows start turning and making those little backward crescents and everything gets a little bit darker and the animals come out and all the strange things. So,
seriously.
Yeah.
It's unlike anything. Mm-hmm. Super cool. And I just remember it happening fast.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned me like 2 minutes or so, but this one's double.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
And much more time to just take it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be around your family or wherever you're at. There's a lot of events you could take place at and be mesmerized by. Mm-hmm. Is there any we can highlight? Because you guys have been highlighting lots of stuff. So let's get into some of that.
Yeah, so we have had the opportunity to partner with some different, businesses and agencies locally to highlight what's going on, and we've shared some of that on our social media. And so there really is so much stuff, and it's still coming out what all is happening. And so it's, and I think a lot of the organizers have done such a great job of having a place where it's, really comprehensive overview of like what all is happening. So, SIU and the city of Carbondale have being the crossroads, have so much going on. And they have, at the stadium, there is going to be, the viewing, and NASA will be there. And they have plans for live performances and jet flyover. And I think that's going to be, a really big hot spot.
I think they have like live streaming on the Jumbotron of kind of as it moves throughout the United States. And
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're going to have, that's going to be, I think, very much kind of the epicenter of like NASA and some of the more like, that kind of like the science community. I think it's probably definitely going to be a very like concentrated there. And then the days leading up to it, they have a festival that spans the town of Carbondale and, the university, and it's just kind of all over. So there's going to be live music, there's going to be workshops, there's going to be, they just have really something for everyone several days leading up to it. So if you are like we last time, we're home, if you, don't plan on being out that day, the days leading up to it, like you can go out and enjoy tons of different things. So really the website they have too does a good job of including all of that in Carbondale to get a good idea, I think, of kind of what that festival includes.
So what is the website that people can find that?
It is eclipse.siu.edu.
Awesome. So here it is, and they can find all this, what you mentioned right here.
Yeah.
NASA.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to have kind of an interactive experience where kids can engage in looking at different things.
Yeah, leading up to it, depending on what your interest is, like if you want to have, you can go to specific talks where they're giving, again, kind of more of like the scientific side of it. You can go, there's an arts and crafts fair, there's live music, there's just so much which I think is so great because everybody's going to have a different interest in this event. It's not just going to be people that are really interested in the, academia of it. There's going to be those. And then, so it just seems like organizers have really hit all those different interests and types, like types of
everybody
families
wants to be
and
a part of this one big event.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and there's also over that way, Shawnee Cave Amphitheater is also doing a big festival, which is, the days leading up to it as well. And that is such a kind of monolithic place. I don't know if you've been to the Shawnee Cave Amphitheater.
For anybody that hasn't been, can you describe?
It is the bluffs that they have. There's just this kind of cave that creates this just unbelievable bluffage, and they do live music there. And it is
a light show that you can.
They do a phenomenal light show, and it's a really special place. And so they have a music festival.
I think there's going to be camping then throughout the weekend that's still available too.
Yes, they'll have camping. They're going to do different, in addition to music, they'll have kind of like, like other music festivals, they'll have vendors and food and I think guided hikes and different, yoga activities and a lot of different stuff at the Shawnee Cave.
I love that.
Yeah. And then
it's almost like having our very own Red Rocks.
Yes.
Right here in Southern Illinois.
I completely agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
It is a treasure. It is an absolute treasure. And I think, with having camping for the Eclipse weekend, it'll be such a special place to be.
And lots of live music.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're a fan of live music, this might be the one you want to go to.
Yeah. And really I think a lot of these activities, you can create your own itinerary. Like you could do one thing one day and another. And so you could really hit up, so then in Marion, there is at Mountain Dew Park, Thrillville, they are doing total eclipse of the park. So you could watch, view the eclipse over this way. Maybe you're more, located more this way. You plan on staying over this way for the actual day of the eclipse, but you want to head over to the Shawnee Cave, earlier in the weekend. So there is just the opportunity to kind of like build this like cool little
We have a whole
for
weekend
yourself.
now, yeah, for shopping around the square here in Marion. A lot of different things are
I think, you know, most of the businesses have some type of eclipse
apparel.
Yeah, like items to just, you know, make sure that you get your memorabilia and you have that, like, you know, something to kind of take with you, whether you're visiting or you're, you know, local. A lot of the businesses that we've connected with have, you know, I know you guys have T-shirts, which are super cool, and it's neat because a lot of that stuff is still kind of rolling out, so you can kind of see which one. Like, it's neat to see as they like continue to show up. Like, ooh, that one's cool. Oh, I want, you know, and kind of get a variety of stuff.
I love it. I love to see all the businesses, the different towns and areas, all sort of doing the same thing, promoting the same event.
Yeah,
it's all coming to this. And it's really cool to see people take on their own spin, whether it's at the stadium or the university or in your own backyard.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can still participate, like you said, in the weeks leading up, which now we are like 18 days that way from this recording.
Yeah. And I think it's such a great opportunity to support local, be a part of how our community experiences it. So all of these businesses, these organizers, these volunteers, you know, what is your role in this event, and how can we all, you know, feel really good about how it happens and like what that experience is. You know, we don't know what type of crowds we may or may not get, but either way, like, our community is experiencing something, you know, really remarkable. And then we have the opportunity to prepare and to kind of, again, like, figure out what is that going to be, what's your role in this, and how are you going to be a part of, like, this, it's something greater than yourself, you know. And I think that's really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Crab Orchard,
yeah,
the Bunkers.
was a really cool one.
Which I know you guys do have a bit of that on your Instagram.
Yes.
Maybe we could pull that up and show some of what we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Yeah.
So do.soil on Instagram. Here's their page. Check it out. You guys just kind of want to talk about this, walk them through if they're listening, what they are seeing.
Yeah. So Do So Ill is our kind of like the tourism influencer marketing side of our business, because we are like a creative agency. We do a lot of different things, but this is where we just share about activities and happenings in Southern Illinois. And again, right now it's fairly eclipse, not all eclipse, but a lot of that is eclipse specific. And so recently we partnered with Banterra and the city of Marion, Visit SI, you know, we're just to go out to the bunkers at Crab Orchard Wildlife Refuge. And they were built during World War II to store munition. And since then, they are rented out for some private sector, some government contracts, you know, but they're not open to the public generally. And they are going to be open for the eclipse. And so on the day of the eclipse, they will have this one area that has 70 earth-covered bunkers. And you can go out there and set up and, you know, kind of tailgate. And then they'll have a couple of them open that you can go in and see. And then rangers will be providing some of the history around
and they just ask to be respectful of the land and not to go on top of the bunkers and things like that. But pretty free and open to spread out where you want to.
And it is really neat.
Bring what you want. And then they've got it to where you'll have easy access to get in, easy access to get out when it's over, and get right back on the interstate or head home or wherever you're going. And
so if you're a history buff,
yes,
this is the history side. This is something that isn't open.
No.
I've never heard of it being open to my own experience.
Yeah. So they will do tours during Halloween time, which is also really cool. Like a really cool time to go. We had wanted to, we hadn't been yet. Yeah. And it is, I mean, there is the history of Crab Orchard in general is just absolutely fascinating. I mean, it really has such a rich history, which is a whole other podcast. But for us to be able to go out and visit, I mean, and as Tim mentioned, you know, it's just a very open field too. So,
and they're preparing it for this. So I don't know if you can see on there, but it's like fresh tilled dirt on top of the bunkers there, which there were still a couple out there that showed what they have originally looked like recently, where it's still a lot of trees and a lot of weight still on top of them. So now they're getting those cleared off and preparing the land for people to be out there.
And what was the road that you will be?
Oh,
coming
the
in on?
road that you enter in on and then exit out on to get out onto Old 13 is the oldest paved road in southern Illinois, is what they
Really?
say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it's just a really neat spot. It's
Yeah.
really, so I think, if anybody's looking for a place that you can kind of spread out a little bit, you can be part of a historical moment at a historical location. I think
A
that's
great
really,
viewing location. There's
Yeah.
no trees or anything that are going to be in your way there.
So here's the video. We got it to play finally, but here we go. The countdown to April 8th.
yes.
Maybe, so there they are. Do you want to talk us through this?
Yeah, there's several grids, so it's just like different rows of these. I think they said 5 of them are now open. The rest of them are still being used at the time. But
And I saw the glasses. Could you mention the glasses? Because that's
Yeah.
an important aspect.
That is an important aspect. So, of course, everybody will have to have glasses once it's totality. Or no, once it's totality, you get to...
you could take them
You
off.
can
at
take
that
them
point.
off,
So-
but leading up,
Yeah.
so it's
good to get that
an
right.
important detail. That is an important detail. But so there's a lot of places that have the glasses. Some events it's included with your ticket fee. Some have them for free where you can pick them up. Banterra's doing a fundraiser, so all of their branches have them available for $2, which goes towards Make-A-Wish Foundation and Granted.
What an amazing cause that's
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
towards.
So really,
cool.
there's a variety of ways to get them. And then again, if you want to kind of contribute to a fundraiser, you can purchase them. We've gotten a ton already because we're like going to lose them for sure. So having extras, like some of ours already were bent and everything. And
Well, you don't want to miss it.
no, you need
Extra-
to have them.
It's good to have extras
I
for
think
this
it's
one.
good to have extras. I think that's something that's important to probably,
And
to
who
do.
knows? People might bedazzle them, and we might have some crazy looking glasses before
That'd be cool.
Yeah, actually, I'm like, okay, that seems like that's a good idea. We're going to start something new.
That'd be
Yeah.
good. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Sweet. Are there any other videos we can look at on your Instagram?
so we did some kind of quick ones, I think, for the Thrillville.
Here's
Yes.
can we show the Camp
Oh,
Amphitheater just
Yes,
to give people?
yeah.
Can you walk us through this a little?
Yes. So this is the Shawnee Cave Amphitheater, which is going to be in Murfreesboro, and this is obviously the place where they do the live music, although they do have multiple locations there where they'll have stages
cool.
and different things. And then there's an example of the light show.
Oh wow.
And it is,
Oh cool.
it's really great. They have, the sound, the acts that they bring in, the
that's awesome.
vendors, it really is. And again, then camping as well. So
That's how you enter down into the cave there. So it's one way in, one way out. And then up on top of there is where the camping will be.
Nice. On top of the cave.
Yep.
Cool.
yeah,
Love
it's a
that.
really neat
Love
place.
that. What a nice hidden gem almost.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but down that way, Bald Knob Cross is doing a big eclipse viewing as well. And so that's another one that'll have, a very open viewing, like clear, assuming weather
They were going to have
behaves.
vendors up there as well.
Yeah, they'll have food. They'll have, I don't know beyond like food and beverage if they'll have additional stuff. I think it's kind of the viewing, but yeah, there's a lot of.
But like you asked in the beginning, where were you at last time? That's what it'll be. Where were you at when this one came through? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
finding that spot.
And one thing, we were looking at kind of the guesstimated numbers on the last time and this time and kind of getting a grasp on some of that. And really, it seems like because, first of all, last one was pre-COVID. And so everything's different now. The way people travel, the way people gather, the way people spend their money. There's so many different factors now that I don't really think that attendance last time or, visitors last time is necessarily any use to us in regards to kind of expectation. So we don't really know what to expect.
And with the different path, I guess, too. People might be coming from other directions this time. Yeah.
yeah. And
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think that's something else that with a lot going on, I think having a grasp on what you want to do ahead of time is probably a good way to be a little bit prepared. Like winging it is probably not the best. I mean, probably not the best route.
Well, it's not coming around for 400 years, you said, so maybe a little planning.
Yeah, maybe a little planning.
Good idea this time.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I think
it's going to be a great way for Southern Illinois to kind of show off what we have here.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And bring a
The
lot of people
Shawnee
in.
National
Yeah.
Forest, yes.
Yeah.
It's our greatest natural resource.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, kind of seeing what things, because some things will not then be open on like Sunday or Monday, and kind of figuring out what things you want to do throughout the weekend, where you're going to be, where you're going to spend your time and money.
Kind of having a grasp on, like what things will be open, what things won't, like getting a little bit of like a roadmap ahead of time for the whole weekend, because there might be big crowds, there might not, but kind of knowing like where you're going and probably helpful.
Yeah, I know I'll be. I will be in the same place that I was last time.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What day was it last year? That's what was it?
Oh, gosh.
We should know this. But
I don't remember.
I feel like
it was hot.
Yeah, but I feel like this year, because it's on a Monday, like the weekend before, it just seems like it's more opportunity to do all that stuff. Than like last time, it seemed like it was really.
The kids are going to be off school. Is that like a state thing or a national thing, or is everybody?
I think it's probably I don't think it's national. I think it's probably for sure local, and then maybe totality lineup.
Yeah.
It's probably just district.
That's a great point, Tim, because I was thinking you guys have kids, right?
Yeah.
So how is there kids? How are the kids getting informed? How are the kids getting involved with the eclipse?
A lot of the NASA stuff, and I think around SIU. Will be focused a lot towards the kids and helping their understanding and kind of what they're experiencing. And kind of another cool thing that's going on during this is there's going to be a comet that you'll be able to see viewing as the eclipse is taking place, which comes around once every 72 years.
Wow.
So to really kind of, so the kids to kind of understand even what that is and what all's going on and what they're experiencing is I think crucial for, because otherwise it is just kind of an odd experience.
Yeah. It's definitely, something that will be humbling.
Yeah.
That, it will be inspiring.
Yeah.
And, hard to make sense of.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing Halley's Comet when I was really young and looking at it through a telescope and, feeling that it was a big thing even then, but not really understanding, what we were looking at. And this is kind of much bigger than that.
It's a magnitude.
Yeah.
It's big.
And and also, like we said before, you can't describe it. And so to now be able to experience it again, knowing, kind of, I don't know, but still feeling like I don't know what to expect.
Right.
Like, even though we have witnessed one, it's like you still don't, it still feels like so much uncertainty. I don't know why. Do you feel like that?
A little bit, because you don't know the weather. You don't know how the clouds will be.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like last time that wasn't really talked about. Like, I don't feel like I thought that there was a chance we wouldn't see it. Whereas, like, now.
It was August, too, it's going to be nice, hot.
Yeah. Whereas, like, now I feel like there's that, like, kind of like, is it, are we going to see it?
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be, I wasn't worried about that last time. And this time I'm like, that would really suck.
Yeah, it would. But hey, that's part of it. That's part of the chance.
Yeah.
It's like out of our hands.
Yeah.
Big time.
And it's going to be dark either way.
Yeah. I saw something the other day too about like if you're, kind of the difference between being just like slightly out of totality. And I don't remember like the specific comparison they made, but it basically was like it's night and day. Like if you're attempting to get just kind of close or whatever, it's like no. Like if you want to see it, do not expect it to be in any way.
It's worth going.
It's worth going like that extra bit. Yeah. Like see totality, but if you haven't seen it, it's hard to like get people to fully get it,
You have to be there. It's like a picture says 1,000 words, but these pictures, it would need 1,000,000 pictures to say everything. That
seriously, you just can't capture it unless it's with your own, being.
So we've talked Eclipse for music lovers at the Cave. We've got history at the Crab Orchard. We've got science and NASA coming to SIU. We've got shopping happening around downtown Marion. We've got the Eclipse at the stadium here.
Yeah.
Are we missing any aspects? Because it feels like we've covered a lot. We had the kids. But still,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, nature lover, there's no shortage of nature. You can
Absolutely.
go to the woods, go to a bluff, go to a lake.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great option too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, to watch.
Well,
from
and
the
I think
water.
Crab Orchard also has other locations.
Yeah,
around
there
the
are
park that
other
they're gonna
locations
be,
they recommend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and they have them listed on their website. Some that but it's also kind of. It's not like an organized location.
Sure.
It's more like these are good viewing spots.
And
But
finding your personal preference where you want to sit and spread out, or if you do have kids or pets or whatever, you need to be able to experience it. And
We've covered a lot.
Yeah.
So I do want to shout out you guys too, because you are small business owners, as you've mentioned earlier. So how can people contact you? How can they find your page? How can they support your business?
Yeah.
So our business is called Deliciously Ordinary. Do So Well Then being kind of the tourism arm, and so we have a website, a Facebook page, Instagram for Deliciously Ordinary as well. So that would be a way to get in touch with us. And so we are a creative agency, and we do florals and decor for weddings and events. And then we also do a bunch of other stuff. So we do digital marketing, we do influencer marketing, we do immersive experiences. We really
cool stuff, guys. Seriously,
we keep it a little loosey goosey with what we do. It does not fit in a box.
Been very receptive to, I think, everything.
That's awesome.
It's kind of taken a little while for some of it, but I think that it's picking up and is kind of spreading across the area. You're seeing more and more people really getting involved in sharing the area, sharing what is here, and then changing, I think, the outlook on different things that maybe in the past have either been overlooked or have had a story that maybe isn't still that story.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, we have seen like a good. I think it is just such a neat time to be in Southern Illinois. Yeah, it really is, right? Like it's a great. It's such. We're having such a renaissance. You're a part of it.
That's been a lot of fun. Somebody smarter than me once said, I don't care for the market to catch up to what I'm doing. I don't care that if it's behind. You guys speaking on doing these types of showcases and these types of events and but it's been well received. But at the same time, it takes people to get out in front of it and for people to come along and catch up.
Yeah.
So keep going, guys. It's been awesome to see and room for y'all. And
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Is there anything we've missed? Anything you guys want to say to the people out there?
That question is always so hard.
Shout out.
We'll get in the car. She's like,
I should just have something really interesting prepared for just like every time, just like slide it in. I have nothing. I don't know. I have nothing. I think really.
It was funny though. I will say something you had just said. I think there's a lot of people that have come out of Southern Illinois with that mentality too, because we've been interested in the Bucky Dome and the stuff and how far ahead he was of his time.
Which they're doing an Eclipse talking engagement.
Over at the Bucky,
Cool.
And they're
very cool.
redoing the home and building a museum over there right now as well.
Like the first 3D printed building in
Yes.
Illinois?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So sustaining and but I think there's a lot of that here in Southern Illinois where there is a lot of forward thinking, and it just takes some time. And
yeah, absolutely.
It takes the right pieces coming together and getting that right support. Just
Well, this
keep doing
day
it.
and age to get those pieces together is so much easier.
Yeah. To connect all those pieces. Yes, absolutely.
Networking opportunities now,
Yeah.
social media, game changer.
Yes.
Sort of really gave the power. And palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And then the communities being willing to kind of work together throughout all of Southern Illinois as well.
And it does seem like with the eclipse that's happening. Like, there's so much going on that it's like, it does seem like different communities, different towns, different, agencies are really cross promoting to just encourage like a really good experience.
The eclipse doesn't care about your town line, county line.
No.
What colors your high school mascot wears.
No
It doesn't
way.
care any about that. This transcends it all.
Seriously. Yeah. I think too, like we were talking about, this is such a historical moment. And what do we as a community like want that to feel like, and what role do we want to play in it? Like
be looked back upon.
Yeah.
For
just
sure.
like taking the time to think about like, because I think for me, like there's so much going on too that it can almost feel a little overwhelming it's like, oh my God, what's like, I don't know, we're going to be at home or whatever, you know? And it's like, well, but there's so many ways to support the efforts to make it this really great experience. Like whether that's leading up to it, whether that, whatever it is, like, I just think it's an opportunity for the community to be so proud of what we have to showcase and what we are getting to be at the epicenter of. Like, that is just so cool. It's just neat. So like kind of, being intentional with like,
we can brag about that for a little bit.
Yeah, that's like a flex, right? Like that is like such a flex. And we'll have, and for eons, it'll be a thing. Like you can't ever, I don't know. It's just
cool.
So cool.
It's cool. So we might have to have you back on after to get the tail end.
Talk about how cool
this was.
Seriously.
Any other upcoming exciting projects you guys got going?
Great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Love to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, Tim and Lindsay, Sakeki, thank you guys. This has been informative and fun, and just good to see you guys. It's been a while. So
as well, yeah.
Thanks for coming in. Any last plugs, website, social, Deliciously
Ordinary. So deliciouslyordinary.com. And we do flower delivery Monday through Friday. So sometimes people, because we do so much, people forget about that. But we can do that. So
absolutely.
Plug that.
Definitely. All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll have you back and enjoy the eclipse.
Yes.
And,
You too.
we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.